Capricorn, November is all about a new you. And it's weird because we haven't even reached your season yet when, your season is when you have your personal new year, but it seems like your new year is coming a little early. If you want to know more, keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Capricorn? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me there at Divine Feminine Works. I've got tons of tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation content on the regular. So head over there and follow me. All right, Capricorn, this is going to be the Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for you for November 2021. You know the deal. As always, we start with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus in Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, this new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive, it's deep, it's truth-seeking, and that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about like psychic abilities, it's all about telepathy, it's all about intuition, and it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is again November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space, and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about like skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's like, I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's like we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know, but Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. All right, Capricorn. So for you, November has a strong emphasis on your 11th house of friendship and goals, and your 12th house of solitude, rest, and confinement. All right. So we start the month with the sun in Scorpio, which is illuminating your 11th house of friends and goals. So with that being said, that's where your focus and that's where your consciousness is going to be while the sun is in Scorpio. Scorpio being a sign of depth, of truth, of emotions. The bonds that you form with your friends, particularly over Scorpio season, are going to be very deep. They're going to be emotional, which may be a little counterintuitive for you because being an earth sign, being very practical, you're not one to be overly emotional. And so your friends, your associations, any groups that you are a part of, the bonds are going to be deep. They're going to be substantive. They're going to be things, you're going to bond over things that matter perhaps, or perhaps you're going to be bonding with people over Scorpio-like subjects. That could be religion. It could be the occult. It could be mysteries. It could be tarot, astrology, any of those things. You may be gathering with people or forming bonds with people over these Scorpio-like issues, okay? Particularly while the sun is still in the sign of Scorpio. And then come Sagittarius season, which begins on the 21st, the sun is going to move into your 12th house, and that is going to be time for you to rest. The season before our solar return, so for you, Capricorn, that would be Sagittarius season, is all about resting. It's all about recharging your batteries. It's about resting up and getting ready for your season and your solar return. So the end of November is going to be kind of quiet for you. It's going to be a time to power down. It's going to be a time to recharge your batteries. It's going to be a time to think about the past and the future and get ready for a new revolution around the sun. All right. So let's take the month in chronological order and see what is in store for you. So on the 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio, which is going down in your 11th house of friends, associations, and goals. If you have lofty goals, career goals, lifelong goals, you're going to want to set those at the new moon in Scorpio. Now, I want you to dig deep because, again, Scorpio is a very deep sign. These goals shouldn't be superficial, and the way that you approach them shouldn't be superficial either. And you probably don't, because your 11th house is naturally Scorpio. So that's how you sort of approach these things. But being that it's the new moon, you're going to have a clean slate, a fresh start. So set intentions related to friendships, associations, goals. All of those things are up for grabs for the new moon in Scorpio. Next up, on the 5th, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio, which is again happening in your 11th house. Mercury, I call it one of the relationship signs, right? Even though Venus as a planet governs relationships, Mercury does to a certain extent, because it's how we relate to people. It's how we communicate with people. And if we're talking about your 11th house, we're talking about friends and associates and people who share the same ideals as you. It's your tribe. It's where you feel like you belong, like part of a group. And with Mercury in Scorpio, the way that you communicate with these people is going to be very deep and substantive. What I also love about Mercury in Scorpio is that it's not so much about vocal communication. It's more so about intuition, psychic abilities, telepathy, all of those outer worldly kind of things is what Mercury in Scorpio is kind of about, because Scorpio is a water sign. Water is very intuitive and psychic. So you may be able to communicate with these people and build stronger bonds with them by not speaking so much. It's about those unspoken bonds and unspoken communications. Okay, so if you find that you're able to finish each other's sentences, or you'll be thinking of something and your friend will immediately spit it right back at you, that is Mercury in Scorpio. And that's what you can expect when Mercury is in Scorpio. All right, so the same day, Venus is going to be transiting into your sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn, you're really going to like this because this is your first house. And whenever Venus transits our first house, we get that extra oomph of attractiveness. Venus is all about attraction, charisma. Think about Libra. Right? That Libra energy, that very social, charismatic sort of energy. That's what a first house Venus transit is like. So for you, Capricorn, so early in the month, on the 5th of November, Venus is going to transit into your sign and you're going to be hella attractive. People are going to be looking at you. You're going to have this air about you, possibly an air of luxury, an air of allure, attractiveness, and it's really going to attract people to you. I love first house Venus transits because it sort of lifts your spirits. It sort of enhances your self-esteem, your self-worth. You know, we feel good when we look good. And when we focus on our looks, which is what Venus in the first house sort of makes us do, it makes us feel better. It makes us show up in life a little better. So that's what you have to enjoy when Venus transits into your sign on November 5th. Moving right along, the star of the month is the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus happening on November 19th. And for you, Capricorn, this is going down in your 5th house of self-expression, romance, and children. So I want you to think back to May 2018. I know that was quite a long time ago, but think back to that time. Around that time, you might have set intentions related to creative endeavors, children, romance, all of those things, entertainment, sports, any of those sort of things that you set intentions for in May 2018 will likely come to a culmination at this full moon lunar eclipse. Full moon lunar eclipses are like full moons on steroids. It's like a big finish to whatever manifestations and intentions you had set related to that full moon. It also illuminates things in a very big way. So if you find that this full moon isn't necessarily the culmination of a creative endeavor or something going on with your kids or dating and romance, this may just be that the full moon really illuminates those things in your life at this time. And again, that's going down on November 19th. Sometimes eclipses are a cause for concern. I know that in, ancient, mythology and ancient legend, it's like eclipses were kind of scary because the energy could be so potent. And so oftentimes people connote eclipses with bad things happening. And that's really not the case. A lot of times something really good could be coming in with an eclipse. A lot of times eclipses, particularly full moon lunar eclipses, they release things from our life. They eclipse things out. So if you find that you're losing partners or you're losing things, particularly fifth house things, with this eclipse, it's good because it's sort of the universe's way of cleaning the slate for better things to come in. Okay. So even if things don't seem the best at the eclipse, doesn't mean that, it's just going to be the worst forever. But keep that in mind. And again, that's going down on November 19th. Then, like I said before, on the 21st, the sun is going to make its way into Sagittarius, and that is going to be time for you to power down. That's going to be time for you to rest, reflect, and get ready for Capricorn season come December. All right. So take it easy, chill out. You may not want to interact with people a lot. You may just really want to direct all of your energy inward and sort of clean house, get everything in order so that come Capricorn season, you are good to go. All right. And then finally, the last thing we have this month is Mercury moving into Sagittarius, which is going down on November 24th. Mercury in Sagittarius in your 12th house is really about inner reflection. It's really about connecting with yourself, your thoughts, thinking about the future, thinking about the past, just a lot of thinking. It's, again, Sagittarius season is about powering down and it's about reflecting for you. And with Mercury in your 12th house, you're going to be doing a lot of that. And in a big way. You're going to be thinking about things, far off things, perhaps the future in a large way. And that's good because Capricorn season is like a new year for you. Even though the calendrical, I don't even know if that's a word. I think I'm making that up right now. But the calendar new year starts in Capricorn season, right? But Capricorn season is also your personal new year because that marks your solar return and a new revolution around the sun for you. And so Sagittarius season is really about getting ready for that. And with Mercury there, that's where your thoughts are going to be directed. All right, Capricorn. So that is your astro forecast for the month of November. Now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you. All right, Capricorn, you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message and then circle back in with the tarot for more specific messages. But this month, I'm trying something different. And let me know if you like this a little better. I think you might. I'm going to give you 3 messages, 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career and money. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start off with the general message. So Spirit, what is in store for Capricorn for November 2021? General message. Okay, that is too many. Let's try this again. General message for Capricorn, November 2021. Okay, that one wanted to come out. All right. Milk and honey. There was another sign that got this too. This is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is the land of milk and honey. This is abundance. This is sweetness. This is all the good stuff in your life. And this is 5 and 1 that makes 6. I think this is going to be for a personal, this is going to be more of a personal level for you. 5 and 6, 5 and 1 makes 6, and 6 is the number of Venus. And Venus is transiting into your first house this month. And with that, like I said, you're going to have this magnetism, this attraction, this feeling good about yourself. I feel like some of you, this land of milk and honey has a lot to do with your self-esteem, your self-worth, how you see yourself, and how others see you. But let's pull some tarot and see what else we got here. Yeah. The Empress. This is the card of Venus. Some of you are really about to step up in the world. Some of you are giving birth to something that's very personal. It could be a child, but that's not really what I'm getting from this. There is this new you that is being born right now, particularly with the fact that Pluto, the planet, you heard that? The planet of transformation, of death and rebirth, is currently in your first house, and it is currently direct all month. It'll be in your first house all month. You are undergoing this transformation that is just going to elevate you in ways that you can't even imagine. It's really good. It's this really feel-good energy, and there's so many possibilities for abundance. But this abundance is not just about money. This is about your self-worth. This is about how you see yourself, being really happy with yourself. Happiness in abundance is what I'm hearing. All right. Let's get one more card here for this general message for Capricorn for November 2021. Okay. All right. We've got concern. You've had personal concerns over the last, I want to say couple of years, because Pluto has been transiting your house for quite some time, for a couple of years. And the concerns have to do with money. They have to do with relationships. They have to do with the things that you value, particularly yourself. And it's almost like you can put these concerns to rest now, because you're about to turn a corner and experience true abundance when it comes to your self-worth. All right. Now let's move on to the love message. What's on the table for Capricorn for love this month? All right, we've got boundaries. Some of you need to put up some boundaries when it comes to your relationships. But what I love about this card is, look at this fence, this chain link fence. It's not a complete wall, right? You can still see through it. You can even kind of touch people through it, right? So it's putting up boundaries that, I don't want to say soft. They're not soft boundaries, but they're sort of flexible boundaries. But you need to sort of put that up. For others of you, I'm hearing that you've had boundaries up for a while and they're slowly coming down. Some of you have been a little resistant to love. You've been a little guarded when it's come to love and relationships. And now this month, you're going to see those guards come down a little bit. I really think it has to do with Venus transiting your first house. That magnetism that Venus is going to give you is going to make you almost irresistible to other people. And that being the case, it's like, you have no choice but to sort of entertain some of this energy. I know that a lot of you don't play when it comes to anything. Capricorns can be very reserved. Capricorns are very serious. You guys can be, let's just say that you guys are not always with the shits. All right. But this month's spirit is like, put your wall down a little bit. You're looking good. You're feeling good. Kind of test the waters and see what's out there for you. Especially if you're single. Especially if you're single. Even if you're not single, even if you're in a partnership, or even if you're dating someone, like, let your guard down a little bit. There's a lot to gain from engaging in love, engaging in relationships, engaging with people. Okay? Let's get a tarot card on this. Why is this boundaries card here for Capricorn? Okay. The Two of Cups. This card says it all. There's not even much I need to say with this card. Yeah. This is here for you. November's looking really good for relationships and love if you'll let your guard down a little bit. For some of you, and I'm getting that it's a small majority of you, you need to put your guards up. But by and large, most of you Capricorns, I feel like let your guard down a little bit because you need to allow some space for this to happen. Some of you really want this. But your self-esteem and the way that you viewed yourself was part of the reason why you had that wall up. And it served as a wall to keep certain people out. But now that you're going to be feeling good, looking good, being the best version of yourself, now it's really time to get out there and have this. Some of you have been single for a long time. Pluto transiting your first house might have ended relationships, might have really closed you off to a lot of things. But now that Pluto is direct and it's moving straight ahead, and it should be, I'm not quite sure, but sometime in 2022, I believe it's going to make its way into Aquarius. Yeah. So I feel like things are looking up for you on a very personal level. Okay. Now let's get one more on relationship. There we go. Thoughts. Okay, some of y'all have someone in mind. You've had someone in mind for a long time. And now it may be time for this relationship to actually come together. Some of you, you're going to be urged to, like, I'm hearing follow up with this person or check in on this person. Or when Venus gets into your first house, I see some of you, like, this person's going to really notice you. They're going to be like, damn, Capricorn's looking good. Or, wow, there's something about Capricorn I can't quite put my finger on. Let me holler at them real quick and see what they about right now. Venus and Capricorn, I feel like is going to be a game changer for you. All right, now let's move on to career and money. Your favorite topic. All right, we've got the Child. Interesting. Someone else got this card too. The Child signifies something new, something in the beginning stages. So when it comes to career, maybe you guys have just changed jobs. Maybe you guys are embarking on a new business. But with this personal change that you are experiencing, all of this energy in your first house, there's this childlike energy that's going to return to you. You guys are a sign of seriousness. Capricorn's ruler is Saturn, and Saturn is like old man time. A lot of you guys are like old souls, or you just have a very mature personality. And I feel like this month you're going to be a little more lighthearted. You're going to be a little more childish in a good way. It's not, don't take it the wrong way. This is the energy that you're going to approach your career with. Some of you, it's like your career, there's going to be a breath of fresh air that's going to be blown into your career. And it's going to have you feeling brand new, which is nice. You guys are really undergoing a very intense personal transformation. And I feel like you guys are like on the other side of that right now. I feel like you guys went through a lot of heartache, a lot of hardship. And now it's giving way to this abundance. It's giving way to this new you. That's still you, but just you 2.0. Okay. All right. Let's get a tarot card on this here for career and money. All right, we've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Virgo. This is about getting to work. So yes, you guys are going to be busy. Busy bees, doing work, getting things done, but you're going to feel good about it. That's the difference this month. You're going to feel good. All right, let's get one more card to close this out. Okay. Oh, I like this. Official person. For some of you, you are being this official person. Like some of you are getting a promotion. You've been doing a lot of hard work and it's finally going to get noticed. You're either going to be noticed by an official person, like a boss, an authority figure. Maybe if you have your own business, these are prominent clients, prominent potential clients. Others of you are going to be the official person and everyone's going to see you as such. This personal transformation is leveling you up in ways that you can't even imagine. And I think I said that before. And I'm saying it again because I need you to understand that. This personal transformation that you are undergoing is bringing abundance into your life like you couldn't even imagine. You're going to be a completely different person by the time this is over. You're going to be this person, this official person. Your stability is going to be on point. Your relationships are going to be on point. But most importantly, you are going to be on point. Okay? Don't forget that. You've got amazing stuff ahead. All right, Capricorn, that has been your Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out in the description box below, don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter. Everything I talk about in these videos, along with freebies, discounts on products and services, challenges, whole bunch of great stuff is given to my newsletter subscribers on a regular basis. So check that out and subscribe. My loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I will leave that link in the description box as well. Capricorn, it's a new you. It's not even your new year yet. And already you're going to start to see this new you emerging. Enjoy it because abundance is truly yours. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.